everyone, it's Joanna and Trish again. We are still in Toronto, and we actually came for several reasons. And the very first activity that we did together was to go to a book launch with Gabby Bernstein for her new book called Super Attractor. And it's about manifesting what you want, so we thought, what a great topic to start out with.
We actually love all the vibes of manifestation, and we know that for some of you it's a little bit of a woo-woo, but today we want to share our experience manifesting and a couple of tools that actually work very good for each other on the manifestation realm.
I think one of the items that has caused me some grief around manifesting is expecting it to show up. Why isn't it? I have this list of things that I want. I use all these statements that we're going to teach you later. Why isn't it actually showing up? What do you think, Joanna?
That's a very good thought. I think that it goes into our own ego of thinking that we know better than the universe when the right time is. And I think that is our attachment of controlling the circumstance. So I have all this list of things that I want, but I not only want those things, I want them on a specific time that will fit better my plans. So I think that is one of the big things that I saw in my life when I was very attached to the when and the how. It's almost like the universe get annoyed with me and just roll his or her eyes up and stop working on the manifestation because I don't have the humility probably to release the wheel and let it flow at its own time, not at my time.
So are you saying not to maybe have a timeline or to have a timeline for a goal, but then let it go and let the universe kind of take care of it? Or
I would say so. One of the things that I learned early on with Mike Dooley was concentrate on the what, on the final outcome, but don't get attached into how you're going to get there.
Right. I remember Mike saying that, and he actually calls it the cursed hows. If you focus too much on how, we might think it might come to us one way, and if you let it go, the universe maybe has a total other plan. It might not be the exact path that you kind of want to go on, but you're going to get there somehow.
And that came with our first tip is for some things we want to have a timeline because we need some things to manifest on a time frame. So the first advice or the first tip to share with all of you is it is okay to put a time frame, just don't make it firm or fixed. So don't say by January 31st and that's it. Say by January 31st or better. So you are telling the universe, I want it on this frame, but you are still open up the possibility to make it sooner or later, depending of if it's for the best benefit of everybody involved.
Yeah, I also learned from Bob Proctor on setting affirmations specifically to write them with a date and ask honor before this date. I want to have a certain amount of money in my bank account. I want to have this raise. I do like the and better part because then you're opening it up even more that it can come in the time that it's supposed to come in.
One of my favorite analogies with all this concept of something better, something sooner, was hearing actually Mike sharing the analogy of a GPS. When we are traveling in a city that we don't know, we put our destination. We say, when I go to Calgary to visit you, I will put the barn address. I don't know how to get there. I will just say I need to go to see Trish, to the barn. And then the GPS will calculate the best, fastest, easier way to get to Trish. What will happen if I start driving and the GPS say turn right? And I say, no. This over here looks better, so I'm gonna turn left. Then I will start not trusting the GPS, and I will start taking other turns and other directions to get me lost.
And then you have that GPS come and go, recalculating. It's kind of like the universe, right?
And that's the magic that you're saying. Even if we take the wrong turn, the universe will always recalculate to bring us back on track to what needs to happen in our life to meet our highest purpose.
Cool. Now you had some interesting manifestation in your last travels. I thought maybe you could share that with everybody. It was pretty powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. So we learned this year first from Eric Edmes, that is one of our mentors and coaches, and we love him. The possibility of the reality is our brain entire job. Our brain is designed to keep us safe and to keep us alive. So whenever our brain think that we are taking way too high risk or we are going way too outside our comfort zone, our brain instinct is bring us back and say, no, that's not possible. So one of the things with manifestation is that when I am not able to run for more than 3 minutes because I cannot keep my breath, and I say that I'm going to manifest a marathon, my brain immediately will shut down. It will not matter how many affirmations I say, doesn't matter if I tattoo it in my skin, doesn't matter if I put it all over my house. When the change is that big, immediately the brain just shut it down because you want to keep us safe and protected. So we learned that a trick to trick the brain is, instead of making it like that, we make it as a question. And we learned from Eric, the first question is, will not be nice if. So instead of saying, I'm going to run a marathon, I can say, will not be nice if I'm able to run a marathon.
So wouldn't it be nice if you were able to run a marathon?
Yeah, will not be nice.
And then that changes your brain chemistry to put some belief and some faith in there.
And then trick the brain, because then you are not telling the brain that you are going to do it. You are just asking, will not this be nice if happen? So it just open a door of possibility. And then one of our closest friends that we both love, Georgia Vanderbilt, shared with me a couple of months ago another one that was very powerful, and was, I wonder what it will feel like run a marathon. And by synchronicity, just a couple of days after I hear it from her, I hear it also from a huge, amazing author named Kyle Cease that talks about manifestation and the illusion of money. And then I start using that one because I'm a very emotional feeling person, and I already understood the concept of the question. I start actually saying, I wonder what it will feel like flying business class. Because right now I don't fly in business class usually. And the funny thing was, I start writing that in my journal every morning. And then 3 weeks ago, we were going to Cabarete, Dominican Republic, to do a training. And I booked my flight with an airline that I never fly. Like, it's been more than a year since I fly with that airline. And I keep putting in my journey. The day of the trip, I woke up when I did a check-in, and they upgrade me both Cleveland to Miami and Miami, Dominican Republic on business class. So 2 upgrades traveling on business class, because I was asking I wonder what it will feel like travel on business class. Then I say, okay, if I was able to manifest this, of course, that is my kind of an engineer mentality. I was like, I'm gonna test the universe. I'm gonna make it even harder. I'm gonna say, I wonder what it will feel like to travel with Justin, my husband, in business class. So we came back from the Dominican Republic. I was upgraded on the way back as well. So that's 3. And 2 days later was Thanksgiving, and we were going to Texas to visit Justin's grandparents. We went early on, 6 o'clock flight to the airport in Cleveland. Guess what? we both were upgraded to business class, both flights, Cleveland, Houston, and Houston, Austin, Texas. So that's 5 upgrades of business class in the last 4 weeks, just playing with that statement.
What would it feel like
What it
to
will feel like.
be upgraded to business class?
What it will feel like to not. That is a great point on how you can try to make it as general as possible. Because if you say what it will feel like to be upgraded to business class, you are limiting the options to only be upgraded. No, I just want to
just
fly.
to fly business
I don't
class.
care if it's upgrade or if it's somebody else give me their ticket or if somebody else invite me to go to business class. I don't care. So that is a very good point on when we are doing this, try to make it as general as possible, because remember, we are looking at the final result. We don't care how we are going to get there. We care about the final destination.
I worked with Gary Cox, and he's a business and lifestyle strategist. And if you ever have a chance, Google him, COXE, and watch him do some powerful transformations for people who are deathly afraid of dogs and snakes. And I actually saw Gary do it live, and that is what intrigued me to work with him. And his method, he agrees, you can say, I want to fly business class, but your brain is going to say, I don't know about that. So Joanna's way of I want to know that, or I want to feel.
I wonder what it will
I
feel
wonder
like.
what it would feel like. Then the brain is starting to question. So when Gary works with you or people, and especially around big fears, he gets people, as soon as they feel something, to say no problem. And we've heard Eric Edmeade use that. He probably got it from Gary, and because he's told the snake story too. And so that just tricks your brain, and through his process, through I can touch this, how are you feeling? No problem. And it starts out very, very weak, and by the end that no problem becomes super empowering to people. And in a matter of half an hour, people can do amazing things and get over their fears.
And
So
that's
no problem.
That's very interesting on when we caught ourselves, when we are trying to manifest and we are writing our things, we all have this little cricket in our shoulder that is telling us, that is a big dream, that is not going to work, that is impossible. That would be a very nice way to implement what Trish just teaches, and is whenever you are writing what you want to manifest, I wonder what it will feel like to run a marathon. I wonder what it will feel like to fly business class. As soon as you start hearing that little cricket saying, it's not possible, you will never get there, say, no problem, no problem. I'm not asking us to do it. I'm just wondering how it will feel like.
And mine isn't a cricket, it's actually a monkey. So I have a little monkey that sits on my shoulder. And I used to think that I had to get rid of that monkey and to kind of knock him off. And what I actually do now is when he starts talking to me, it's like, yeah, it's okay. Just come along and we'll see what happens. Just come on for the ride. I don't try and get rid of my monkey and the chattering voice. I just invite him to come along on the journey.
That actually is amazing. I think that mine is going to be still a cricket, but I'm gonna use that next time that something like that happens, because you make me remember Elizabeth Gilbert. And I was reading one of her books, Magic, and she was saying how sometimes we all have egos, and then our egos sometimes are the ones that make the monkey talk and the cricket talk. And again, it's not a bad thing. They are actually trying to keep us safe. We don't know what we don't know. And 500 years ago, if we were going to an unknown place, there will be a big chance of us to get killed, right?
Yeah,
So-
some lion, some tiger, some rhino, something. So those voices have been good to keep us safe through evolution.
But now they don't serve that purpose anymore. So what she was saying was that when that ego start working, what she says and exactly what you do is stop pushing it away. And what she said is, hey, you can jump in the back of the car and get a ride with us, but you're not going to make any decisions about the route. I am in the driving position and Courage is next to me, and we are going to decide a route, and we are going to decide what type of music we are going to be listening in the car.
Yeah.
And we are going to decide what kind of food we are going to eat. You are riding with us, but you are sitting in the back just letting us do the ride. I think that is very interesting because then you stop pushing and you just accept that that is a part of you that is trying to keep you safe, and you acknowledge that part, but you say, hey, I appreciate that you are worried about me, but we got this.
Unfortunately, you can't put your wife or your husband or your mother-in-law in the back seat with duct tape over it, because a lot of the problem is we have people that don't believe us. They are the ones that are chattering. You find a new business opportunity or a new venture or a trip that you want to go on, and they give you all the negative stuff as to why it shouldn't happen and why it shouldn't happen. And one of Gary's sayings is, don't let anyone else rent space in your head. Keep it strong. And that's why we wanted to start this community, so that we could support each other and come with the problems and come with maybe some of the naysayers, or talk about the cricket or the monkeys, and just help you and help us get over some of these hurdles, because the keeping the belief is super difficult, and to surround yourself with like-minded people and people who believe in you. And there's lots of times we don't believe in ourselves, and Joanna has been there for me to say, no, keep going, no, it's all right, it's going to be fine, and it does eventually. But having that coach, that mentor, the tribe, the friend, and I have all of those. I have many coaches, many mentors, many friends, lots of like-minded people around the world that can support each other throughout the good and the bad times.
And that is very important, because especially now we need to get surrounded of people that can help us to level up and fly. And sometimes people around us, our family, our closest friends, actually don't do that, and actually they try to just pull us back. So when you were talking about that, one of the things that I remember that I learned a couple of years ago that it could be very useful for you is when that happened and somebody is telling you, no, that business is too risky, imagine that that person is giving you a present. Nobody tell you that you have to take the present. If you don't take the present, what they're going to do, they need to just keep holding it because you are not grabbing it. So as soon as you grab the present, then you let them get in your mind and get in your flow of manifestation and making things happening. But if you get into the exercise of getting used to it, to just take a moment and say, hey, I appreciate that you're giving me that gift. I am completely sure that you are giving me that gift because you love me and you are scared and you think that you want to protect me, but I don't want that gift anymore. I don't want that gift right now. Thank you very much. That will help you to protect yourself from that doubt and help you to get more energy to do what we are doing here, and is getting even better and better every day.
Absolutely. So do you have any tips for people finding out what they might want to manifest? Like, is there any sort of, do you do it through meditation or a vision board, or what sort of ways do you sort of dream about what it is that you might want?
The first thing that I will share with everybody, that it was a little frustrating for me with early teachers, is there is three main things of learning, and there is three very different ways that we react and process information. They are the visual people, the auditorium people, and the kinesthetic people. The visual people see images, the auditorium people hear things, and the kinesthetic people feel. So one of the mistakes, in my opinion, that a lot of teachers and gurus of manifestation does is they just pick one method. And for example, the vision board. The vision board is amazing if you are a visual person because you are putting images of what you want to manifest. If you are an audible person, maybe for you it's a better idea to put words. And actually, if you see, maybe we can take a picture of our vision board and
Yes.
share. You can see that between Trish and I. Trish's board had a lot more of words of what she wants, and mine is only pictures. So, and then with the kinesthetic people, it's more about the feeling. So what I will say to all of you when you want to manifest is don't get caught on what somebody else tells you will be the right method. Start finding out what is your own way to learn and process information between visual, auditorium, and kinesthetic. And how you know that is to start paying attention on what you say, how you talk. If you use a lot the words as I see, I imagine, I dream, I see you, then you are a visual person. If it's very easy for you to close your eyes and take a picture in your mind, you are a visual person. If you instead say, I hear you, listen to me, pay attention, and you are very easy and you remember very easy things that people say to you, then probably you are a auditorium person. And then the last one, the kinesthetic, is if you use a lot of words as I feel you, or you are a lot into feelings and how you feel in your body, then you're a kinesthetic person. And when you have that defined, for example, I am visual, then you start finding ways to create your manifestation. For a visual person, the best way is a vision board, or just close your eyes and start making a visualization of what would be something. If you are very, very happy, if in this moment you are completely happy, there is nothing in the world that can make you more happy and content and fulfill what is going on around you. And that will give you an idea of what are the things that you want to manifest. And then for the auditorium, the same exercise. If I am completely happy, pleased, content, full of joy and gratitude, what are the things that I'm hearing? What are the things that I'm hearing in my surroundings? And for the kinesthetic, what are the things that I'm feeling? And then that way, each of the three types will tune in with the way that we process our own information to have that clear manifestation of what they want to make a reality.
And one of the biggest ways is to bring up the feeling, like your statement of what it would feel like to have that actually happen. And I do use a combination of pictures and words. And then I also use music to put me in a certain state, whether I'm meditating or whether I just want to raise my energy and dance around the room so that I can just feel better.
Absolutely. And I think that my message to everybody that is watching us is we have enough information right now and we have enough wisdom around us to understand that there is not one cookie cutting recipe that will work to everybody. We have enough information, enough wisdom to be able to tune in and know ourselves. And then if we know ourselves, be able to pick the things based on the way that we process information, the way that we resonate, that will actually work for us. And that's what we're going to be doing here. We're going to be sharing a lot of tools that work for each other or that maybe didn't work for us, but we're going to share because may not work for me, but they may work for you. And in that way, keep growing.
Absolutely. And when Joanna and I were in the Dominican, we were at a life planning retreat called Isaiah. And what was coming up for me was that I am ready for a man in my life to have a relationship again. And so when you want something, maybe you want a red Mercedes. If you want something, a golden retriever puppy. When you put it out there, just be amazed at what actually comes into your field of vision. They might have actually been there before, so I, of course, see people in relationships all the time, but we were with people who were super happily married. We were with people who were having challenges in their marriage. I was with several women who were single around my age. When I looked out on the beach, I would see couples of all ages walking hand in hand. And I even took a picture of a couple walking hand in hand, kissing on the beach, and that just brings that up, that's what I would like to have in my life. So when you are thinking about what you want, just kind of it opens your awareness to what might actually be around you.
I think that that's a very good point in manifestation, and the point is, I think that in another podcast I share it with a good friend of ours, Stacy, in her podcast, and the point is, see it, believe it, and act on it. And the part that Trish is saying is so important because it's being open to start seeing the synchronicities and the little tiny miracles and magic. Because as you start paying attention and seeing them, you start getting in that vibration of attracting that you want to manifest. So if you see that couple hugging and you just allow that to fill you with love and compassion and gratitude, because that means that you are a little closer to your own goal, that will give you that vibration to keep manifesting and bringing your manifestation closer, instead of just being bitchy and ugly about it because you're seeing all that. So that is a great point.
Yeah, some people become judgmental. How come they have that and I don't have that? How come they have that and I don't have that? Instead of celebrate the fact that you've actually seen it and it's actually bringing awareness to you that is possible to come into your life. So change your thought just by doing a little tweak, and it will help manifest what you want.
So one thing that we would love to ask you to do is play with this. Play with will not be nice if, what it will feel like, blah blah blah, and maybe even a vision board, and write in the comments, send us a little message, a little video on your own experience. We would love to hear some amazing stories from you on how you manifest your own dreams and what other techniques are out there that we can all learn to manifest the life that we want in 2020.
And if anyone is in my area, I'm actually doing 2 vision board workshops, one for teenagers and one for adults in January. And Joanna and I can also do a vision board workshop online. So if you're interested in that, let us know.
So we hope that you enjoyed this first episode of we loving each other and loving you, and we will see you soon.
And cheers.
Cheers.